Hey there, it's Chadi Bazzi here, and welcome to another episode of the Top Listing Agent Show. And today I am beyond excited about the guest that we have for you, someone that we're going to expose you to that is going to really blow your mind. I've checked out some of her stuff online and listened to a couple of podcasts that she was on, and I'm like, yes, this is exciting. My audience is definitely going to love this because she is going to share with you some massive nuggets. Massive nuggets. This is a show where you want to have pen and paper and take notes, and or if you're driving around, you want to listen to this more than one time. How do you introduce someone who's so amazing? It's very simple. You just say, amazing Jennifer. No one can introduce you better than you can introduce yourself. So please tell our audience who you are and why you're so amazing.
Oh, okay. I'd love to get why I'm so amazing. But luckily, I don't think you know all the bad stuff. So I'll start out with. I love the harmonica. I just picked it up 3 weeks ago. So hopefully don't judge me on it. But why I picked it up is because I think that everybody could play music. Anybody can. I got the violin. It's really hard, but music is everything. And music is mindset, which I'd love to talk more about today. But a little bit about me. I grew up just like you, and I'm so amazed by your resume, Chaz, and being from Riverside, or not originally for you, but you live there, so you know. But I grew up in Riverside. I moved to Huntington Beach, and I was going to business school for Plan X. I knew I did not want to work for the man, but I was getting a lot of business skills and law and marketing. And I had a daughter very young. So when I was 18, moved out to college and I got knocked up. So it changed my plans and my lifestyle really quickly. So I had to get very serious. So I was going to college, I was waiting tables at night, doing whatever I had to do to put food on my table. And then I was pricing out tanning salons. And then I found we had some friends living here flipping homes, and I did the math, and I'm like, God, both of these homes are less than what my rent is in Huntington Beach. And I did not want to be renting even back then. So in 2003, I moved out here and started my real estate investing, and I got into resale really fast. Craigslist was amazing back then. I had a small team. Thought I was Donald Trump, investing like wild. And then 2008 happened, called and wanted its money back. So, we were building luxury homes. I had apartments. And so I had to do a really quick pivot. Got into REO, got into short sell. I got into a little bit too late, but I still had enough business to make my family a decent lifestyle. Not the lifestyle I wanted, but the lifestyle that a lot of people would be grateful for. And then 2011, when the market shifted, I started to get back into investing, back into Google and internet presence, video. I got into video in 2009 before it was a thing. And then in 2014, I started the team I have today, which now I have not just a real estate team, but I have multiple streams of income, which I love to talk about because, I don't know if you know this, but NAR does not offer us a pension. And building for the future, building for legacy, building for not just your kids, but your great grandkids, those are the memories that we leave behind. Because sometimes we kind of screw it up on our kids. We have to make it up with our grandkids. But no, it's never too late to change. I have 4 kids, 6, 12, 15, and 25. She's married and I love her husband, and they bought a house 2 years ago, and they're 2 grand doggies, so very happy. And I now have a real estate team of 40. I run a real estate pretty much school. I have a coaching and a network of almost 400 agents across the country, and publishing my first book. So that's exciting. It's my way to kind of give back to an industry that I'm just so grateful for. Grateful for that I come from Riverside with no money, and I'm able to build, the lifestyle that so many people would be grateful for all over the world. And I love America. So, but having passive forms of income, I'm actually in one of my Airbnbs right now, and is something I'm heavy investing back into our, into this new guard of agents has been something I'm so blessed to do after 18 years in the industry. And besides that, I'm a skydiver, I'm a polymath, I love art, I'm an artist of all sorts, like master of really not that much, but I love to learn, and that's probably the biggest thing that you'll find is I'm one of the most curious people you'll meet, and I love humans. I'm just obsessed with psychology, human avatar, Enneagram, Myers-Briggs disc, just everything.
Horoscope.
I actually am an astrologer. I really am. And human design, if you really want to get away with it, and a philosophy nerd. So, and a podcast junkie. And I think I have gifted over 10,000 books over the last year or so. Not only do I read, but I'm a giftaholic, and I love to gift books as one of my love languages.
Can't wait to get my book.
Yay!
Can't wait to get my book. Awesome. Well, I'm sitting there listening to you, and I'm like, okay, well, this is part of her resume. This is like a little autobiography, and I already got like a bunch of stuff written down. Skydiving, artist, music, astrologer, human design. A team of 40 agents, multiple streams of income, a new book coming out. You're sitting in your Airbnb and stuff like that. Like if I'm sitting down right now, the audience is sitting down. They'll be like, all right. This is like an all-around, figured out person. Like, obviously 18 years in this business, you learn a lot. And, you and I come across people who've been in this business for 18 years and are still trying to figure it out. So for everyone, pay attention. And the best way to figure things out is to go and listen to someone who's already figured it out and just model what they do. So I'm going to begin by just asking the question, Jennifer, of like, if you could go back and redo your entire career all over again, what would you do differently in your first or second year? Because we got a lot of brand new agents that also listen to this podcast.
I would have not thought I was the smartest person ever. I would have been immediately back. If I were to start over, I'd start on a team. And, I did well the first year. I sold 46 homes and hired an assistant, but I was buying property when at time I should have been listening to Robert Kiyosaki and the tribe around me. I should have been putting myself in better rooms. Like I had asked myself this question a lot. And, two of my mentors, Kyle Whistle and Dan Beer, along with the platform EXP that I'm with, it's like if I would have had them in my court back in 2005, I wouldn't have been buying those properties. I would have been ready for the REO days. I would have been buying when you were buying, back in 2008, 9, 10. And I would have started a team so much smarter, not working harder, but working smarter, knowing how to leverage faster. But I did get into when I lost everything, and I'm talking about I had $12 in my account, and my card was declined for my daughter's lice shampoo at the very bottom. And it felt like I would never be able to get out of this canyon of millions of dollars in debt, millions of dollars, when I have 12. And so, the biggest thing I can always say is it's always your mindset. And I know it sounds generic and it's a broad term, but how much time, and if you're really aware, and I'm a yogi too, I think yoga is like the CEO 1 hour vacation, but when you can actually get outside of yourself and be open, and you're learning new ways, you're rewiring your brain, you are so much more self-aware, of what your own limiting beliefs are, and somebody told me something one day about mindset. We all have these thoughts in our head, you can't do it, you suck, oh, you're not going to get that listing, oh, that person probably didn't want to join your team, or you're fat, you're ugly, you're stupid. Now I'm just being honest with the words I've literally told myself. Yeah. And I would never tell my friend that, but I tell myself that. And sometimes these words are in our head because maybe there are words or maybe they're not. Maybe they're a second grade teacher, some kids that bullied you, maybe it was an ex-husband, whatever it is, those thoughts do not deserve to be there. They don't deserve your time or attention. So when you're really mindful of this and in the moment of just even how you're spending your energy, are you complaining? That's the negative. And there's about 20%. If you can allot 20% of your time to vent, because we all need to complain and vent sometimes, but 80% of your time to the positive things that are going to bring abundance, and you're aware in the moment, like, okay, I'm going back to a complaining thing. And it's easy to do in this world because there's so many things that, like you can find wrong. And if you're a problem solver, like, me, sometimes it's like when I go into a hotel room, for instance, I'll pick out everything that's wrong with the hotel room. And it's not because I'm trying to be negative. It's just because I feel like I love the experience so much. I'm like, this would make it better. This would make it better. But it's also the people around me. Like, am I complaining or am I saying like, oh, look at this beautiful hotel room with a Motel 6 sign right in front of it, But it's whatever you think you can do, like, you're right. And, it's important to obviously know what your limits are, know what like your weaknesses are, and always have that open, vulnerable feedback from the people that you care about the most to tell you that. But the mindset is the money is it's everything. It's where you're going to find your, I wouldn't even say passion, I would say obsession. And when you can be obsessed about something, you can make anything happen.
You know what, we have to unpack this because you're really definitely speaking my language. And, I speak to agents like all day, every single day. And a lot of the people that I've never talked to before that I have that first conversation with them, I think at the end of the day, their business isn't really at the level that they want it to be. And I think the real reason is because they're not, as a person, at the level that they need to be mentally and emotionally. So in other words, they ain't got no business problem. They got a personal problem that's bleeding into their business. So I would like to speak to a little bit more about that because here's what I wrote down based on what you said. You said, hey, you need to get outside of yourself. You need to, be, have that self-awareness, and, you need to somehow, some way delete the limiting beliefs and obviously replace them with empowering beliefs, and can you give us a little bit more of a strategic something that somebody can begin to implement tomorrow so every day they can continue to improve their mindset?
So first of all, we can't not have goals. And that's what I find. It sounds very generic again, right? But it really is back to the foundations, because I could find you, like, if you were asking, like, what's the best tech stack? What's the best, like, lead conversion, lead generating tool? Some people could be brilliant at that, but not be brilliant at being a leader or a business owner. Right. And so having goals, actionable goals, like I need to make whatever you want to use there, but I must make, $500,000 this year, per se. And I know a lot of agents don't like to talk about numbers. Oh, I just want to, I just want to help. I just want to grow and do the best that I can. Okay, how are you going to measure your progress if you don't have a goal? So in that goal, like say it's, to have a team of 5, to have a team of 10, like have the money goals. I want to sell 50 units, 100 units, 200 units. But you have to begin with the long game in mind, and you have to have goals, and you have to have a plan. And if you're just operating on your email, and I coach a lot of agents, and I know I'm old school with a to-do list, but I also have systems upon systems upon systems. But the biggest system I believe in is a calendar. So like anything you're going to do in your professional and personal life, so in those goals, something should be in there very personal. And I don't know if you can get a little dirty on here, but it's actually—
Let's get dirty, baby.
Example. So like, for instance, we might want to make fun of the guy that wants a Corvette because he wants to get, like, say, blowjobs, and you're like, okay, well, it's $250,000.
That's the first on the show, by the way, but keep going.
Yeah, well, and this is actually told to me from one of my mentors, believe it or not, who's been in the industry 40 years or something like that. But so that we're making fun of this guy who wants a Corvette to get blowjobs. So he needs to make, say, $250,000 to, be able to afford his car. Well, he knows what he needs to do to exchange value in the open marketplace. So if you're a realtor, and maybe you're buying the Corvette for your wife because she drives a Honda, you have a deadline. I'm going to buy this car by December, by January. Now you have an incentive. Now you have clear goals where you can click off knowing where you're making progress. So if a month goes by and you have like $1,000 in your account and you have 11 months left, you got to pick up some slack, but when you have that why, maybe it's a house, And if it's a house, don't just say you want to buy a house. Know how much it's going to cost. Know how much money you're going to need to put down, so you know how much progress you're making to those goals. Everything should be on your calendar. I think that every single person has been affected by the chronic condition of ADD, attention deficit disorder. It's technology, it's the new way. But if I have a calendar that I live by, and I'm not just putting just my professional commitments in there, I'm putting my personal commitments in there. And I'm reconciling that calendar every day to say if I did it or not. So if I said I was going to the gym and I didn't show up, guess what's coming off my calendar? That. So literally, if you go back the last 10 years, if I ever get convicted of a crime, no, I'm innocent, because my calendar is going to prove me right. But so I even say, like, the top CEOs, they even calendar sex into their calendar because they know happy wife, happy life. Now, I don't know if that's the same for women, but you get the idea. Date night. I talk a lot about if you have a spouse or a significant other, block date night, block your kids' games out, block your personal time that you're going to take to do something for yourself, to replenish. You know, Da Vinci and Albert Einstein both said R&R is an important thing. And, you know, they're kind of smart. So in that, you know, I call it the spiritual wheel. It's in my book, and it goes over every compartment of your life, you know, money, friendship, love life, work, spirituality. And you look at like where you're at and you measure, you know, 1 to 10. And the whole idea is to get it as much of a wheel as possible. The first time I did it, I was very unbalanced. I looked like Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star. And I do this with my team every 6 months. And I think it's something you could do every month. And you could see how over time, by following, like by your calendar, living your life by design, you know, that you're actually growing in all different areas. You're not just sacrificing family to give to work or vice versa. And it actually can be done. You can actually not multitask, but be very focused in where you're spending your time, because that's the number one most important asset last time I looked. Nobody has more than 24 hours in a day unless you know somebody. Please connect me, because I'd love to know. You know, and we need to sleep sometimes. So having being a healthy, being healthy all around, healthy finances, healthy life. And we're all going to be sometimes winning in one area and maybe not so much in another. But if we're aware of it, we can go time block our calendar. You know?
We can do something about it. Yeah. So Jennifer, I'm going to unpack exactly what you said, because you shared a lot of gold there. And I definitely want to drive it home with how important it is, because this is really, you know, the big block of the foundation. So what you're saying is, Chadi, number one, you got to have specific goals. Number two, you got to create the clarity on why you want to achieve that goal. Number three, after you create the clarity, you got to create the plan on exactly how you are going to achieve the goal. And number four, you got to take what's in the plan and put it in the calendar and just follow the calendar, and everything else will fall into place.
And take action.
Did I get that right?
Yeah, because I can make the most beautiful business plan, but if I'm not actually taking action on it, it's not even worth the paper it's printed on.
That was going to be the follow-up question, because I think we've all been to seminars, we've all listened to podcasts and read the books, and all that crazy good stuff, and we come back home with starting Monday, I'm going to wake up at this time, and I'm going to do this, and I'm going to call the people that I've been avoiding and all that stuff. And Sunday night, you're super excited, and Monday comes around, and you're like, I can't do this. And the reason being is because I think it's a lot of people believe that they cannot. And that's why, when you said the word belief earlier, limiting beliefs, I really got excited. I really wanted to have this conversation. How does one change their belief system? Because if I believe I can, I'm going to. If I believe I cannot, I'm not going to. In your opinion, how does one develop the right belief system? I know I asked the easy question.
Sometimes it's like you have to stop to, slow down to speed up. Sometimes you just have to stop, and sometimes it's true about getting away, that for me, when I, burnout, for instance, we all hit it, right? Burnout, actually, the definition is a failed purpose. where you have not been purposeful in your action. You might say you're so busy, but your goals aren't there. You don't know where you're spending your time. But when you're able to get away, and see like, what is it, that like I'm failing to honor, this obligation that I made. And I think it's very important in this that you have some kind of accountability around it. If you don't have accountability around it, if you don't have somewhere to go to every week to mastermind, to learn from, to coach with, whatever it is, and you're a coach and everyone needs a coach, a therapist, a coach, whatever we want to call them. I have like 4 or 5, and when you have the wise counsel and you're surrounded by the right tribe, because you're the sum total of the 5 people you spend the most time with. And, not just in terms of like money, true, but also mindset. What are the people saying around the water cooler? Oh, the leads suck. Because I could take you into a different room and tell you where abundance is actually happening. So your tribe, yourself, it's your life. Marcus Aurelius had something that, we can go back, a couple thousand years that had wisdom. The biggest thing you'll ever overcome in your life is yourself. And like when you write like out like what your goals are, write your strengths, write like what your weaknesses are, write what your fears are, get it all brain dump out. And you're going to find out how much BS lies are in that why you can't do it. How and whose lies are they? Were they your parents? Were they your teachers? Were they your peers? Were they the complainers in life? Or were they the big thinkers? But when you're able to be open to everything, the dark, the light, you'll find that those limiting beliefs mostly are what's holding them back is what other people think. What other people are going to think of me. Like, who often cares? Are they paying your bills? Are they helping you get to your goal line? If they are, then care. And how can you provide value to them? But I can say personally, in my experience, I let what other people think of me way too much get in front of my success, and trying to keep up with the Joneses. And I am just not a Jones, I'm just, I'm a little weird. But embracing that individuality is so important, and not just trying to be part of the masses, part of the herd, because you're going to get lost in the herd. But when you get to the top of the pack, you're around that winning mindset. And that winning mindset is everything. It's literally energy. Albert Einstein had something else right. Everything is energy. And kind of one more thing, because I know I talk long, but one thing that has always helped me, like, I guess, aspire is like, who do I look up to? Who would I like to be like one day? And there's a lot of people out there. It's really hard to pick. But, one of the people I've always gone to is like Tony Robbins, and what kind of traits does Tony Robbins emulate? Compassion, masculine, feminine, like courageous, some of the traits that I now emulate that I didn't have the skills on years ago. Like, I used to be so scared I could not get up in front of like 10 people to publicly speak without stumbling over my words and getting really nervous. And then I put myself in Toastmasters and I put myself on stages, and what do you know? It's a learned skill, but it's something I admired so much about Tony Robbins. And he's somebody I wanted to be like so bad that I had to stop carrying, hey, I might blow it at this agent stand-up comedy night, which I had last year. And I kind of did, because it was the first time I was trying to be a comedian. But it was the fact that I was able to fail, get back up. It doesn't hurt as much. It's not being scared of failing, knowing you will fail. You will fail. And the faster you can fail, the smarter you fail, and learning from the fails of the people around you. That's going to teach you so much more sometimes than even just what's winning for them.
I love it. So Jennifer, what you're saying in different words is, who's in your circle? Who is in your ear? Who is your role model? Who are you looking up to? And one of the things that we've done, I'm loving this conversation that I'm having with you, because we're so much alike in the way that we coach and train and stuff like that. One of the things that I do with my coaching clients is, if somebody came to me and said, hey, I want to earn $500,000, I say to them the following. I say, whatever your goal is, I want you to identify the person in your marketplace or someone virtually who's already making the kind of money you want to make. Yes. And I want you to describe that person in as many words as you possibly can. And then they'll be like, well, that person, they're courageous. They're clean cut. They dress sharp. They're very well spoken. They're healthy. They're energetic. And I'd be like, how do these people talk? How do these people walk? What time do they wake up? What time do they go to sleep? What books do they read? What do they do? And they write all of that down. And I'll say, perfect. That's exactly who you got to become. How do you become that? Well, now that you got the list, you need to remind yourself every single day. So I give them the exercise. I say, you're going to write yourself a check right now dated for the end of the year in that amount, $500,000 or whatever the dollar amount is. On the back of the check, below the signature line, I want you to write down all these qualities. And when you become all these qualities, then you can cash that check. How do you like that one?
I just wrote this down because this is amazing coaching advice that I'm going to steal from you. But that's what collaboration is.
Feel like an artist. And you are an artist.
Nick said it's not the most, Darwin had a quote, like, it's not the most intelligent man nor the most capable, but the quickest to pivot that ultimately survive.
Yeah.
And Chris Voss, never split the difference, amazing FBI hostage negotiator. I think we can learn something from him. And he took a twist on it. And he said, it's not the most intelligent or the capable, but the most collaborative man that ultimately survive. Because think about it. If we're we used to grow up in tribes, oh, hey, the buffalo are coming. Oh, great, let's go get there. They had collaboration. And without that collaboration or vision, say me and you are collaborating together. Maybe with you, I can see the next step. Here's me, I'm a visionary. I can see this step here. It's a little murky, this step here. Then you start to bring this step into clarity. And then maybe we bring our Kyle Whistle in and he provides another step. And with these people, you start to build this very clear pathway in front of you, and it's not overwhelm. It's not like I have 15 priorities, because another thing on the business plan, if you have more than 3 priorities every quarter, you have 0. So if you're trying to have I'm going to prospect 100 leads a day, I'm going to have 10 open houses a week, I'm going to send this handmade card thing out, I'm going to, all of a sudden, you made yourself an impossible schedule. You're going to have to not sleep probably, and you're not going to be able to get it done. But if you can stick to 3 and go deep on them and be systematic with the accountability and action, you can absolutely accomplish that. And that's with that clear pathway.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So now you use the word pivot. So we're going to pivot. All right. Enough about mindset. Come on. You already know you got to get the mindset. So just get the mindset. And now everybody's probably saying, okay, well, Jennifer, this is great. How do I get deals? How do I get more leads? And so what's, in your opinion, somebody should be paying attention to in today's market in 2022 that they could apply themselves in to generate an extra 1 to 2 deals more a month?
And there's so many different things you could do. It's really
what's the fastest way for me to go out there and get 1 or 2 more deals a month?
I'm going to first go in with, what's your first year zone of genius? Out of the last year, what's the number 1 source of your business? So say for you, what's one of your clients?
For sale by owners.
Okay. And I'll say, for me, when I was coaching more, not just agents on my team, but agents outside of my team, most of them, it was referral. Okay. Past clients, referrals. And then when I would see where they wanted to go, I want to sell, I sold 25 homes last year, I want to sell 50 homes this year. Great. Totally doable. And what do you do? So show me your list. I've sold out of that 25, 18 came from referrals and past client, and 4 came from open houses, and 2 came from this internet lead generation machine I have going. I'm like, okay, so what's your business plan? I'm going to call expireds. I'm going to do all this other stuff. Let's go in with your zone of genius first. So what are you doing for your past clients and referrals right now? Okay, do you have an email? No, I call them once a quarter. Okay, how about a monthly email value, video email? Something that they'd want to open. Everyone wants to know what's going on with the shift right now and what solutions you have. So can you get that going? Do you have client appreciation events? If you don't, you should do it today, because if you gave me $500 and you said, Jen, this is all you have to go spend this $500 and turn it into as much money as you can in real estate. I would go take a couple of people, I'd probably take 10 people to lunch and do something like a real estate review from Ninja Selling, have a life conversation, learn about what their goals are in life. And you'd be surprised about like how much return on investment that is in the form of referrals, and these people are more, they know, like, and trust you already. Their referrals are going to be so much warmer than any other lead generation channel you're going to add. And I'm not against lead generation. I do a lot of internet lead generation, but I start with, we always give back to our clients. And for every internet lead that comes in, they're human, and it's our mission to provide the best client experience every step of the way, asking for referrals in the process. Current client referrals are often overlooked. But, are you waiting to the end of the transaction when they're like stressed out and moving? Or are you asking for referrals in the transaction? Hey, we got through that inspection period. That was terrible, but thank you for giving me that credit. Great. I love referrals, again, that referral pillar machine. Now, once you go outside of that, what's the next step? Now, on those goals that you had, say $500,000 or 50 homes, whatever it is, how many are going to be sellers? How many are going to be buyers? How much of your business right now is sellers and buyers? Knowing that information is very important. What's your average price point? What's your average commission? So you start to break down these numbers, and then you're going to know how many out of your, say, 50 homes you're going to sell, how many are going to be sellers, and how many are going to be buyers.
And how many will come from your database?
And from your database. So if you're going to go after listings, one thing right now is knowing what the market's doing. I know there's been a slowdown, a shift, right? And what happens in that, first of all, there's a gift of the shift, and we're going to take market share is what we're going to do. Because right now our expired listings are up 30-40%. A lot of agents have been fat and happy the last 2 years because, frankly, it's been very easy to be an agent. You don't just throw a home on the MLS with crap photos and like have 50 offers. So you actually got to go to work, and so what another person's loss could be your gain. So in that market share, that 30% every month, how many listings do you want to take? Because I built my luxury listing career. I launched it in 2014 by going on expired listings. And I didn't know, I was not in like Flynn in the luxury market. I had to really, really earn my way into that listing market, but I got it through expired listings. They were opportunities for me. So identifying the best opportunities for you that might be more low-hanging fruit before you try to learn a whole new skill set by working Google pay-per-click leads.
Yeah, and I'm going to agree with you wholeheartedly, and that's exactly one of the things that we've been doing right now is we're preparing all our clients, and they're already beginning to list expireds now that they're back. That's going to be like the next big money maker. So to our audience out there, here's what Jennifer said. She said, before you add something new, just make sure that you're milking the heck out of what is currently working for you. So for example, if you currently have a database of a size of 500 people in there and you're only getting 7-8 deals a year, then something's wrong with that system. We need to clean up that system. It takes a lot more than a call because some people don't even pick up the phone. Some people prefer to be emailed. Some people prefer to be texted. Some people prefer to exchange messages with you on social media. Find out how they want you to communicate with them and communicate with them in that manner and stay at top of mind a little bit more often, and you will get more repeat and referral business from that. Once you got that going, now it's time to expand. And based on the conversation we're having today, based on the time of the year that we're having today, based on the economic situations all over pretty much the country right now, the next best source is going to be expired. And I know, Jennifer, there's going to be people that are going to say, but when I call them, they're going to be angry and they're going to hang up the phone on me and I don't know what to say and I don't know how to handle the objection, etc. What do you say to that person?
You're probably going to suck at first. You know what? I remember, I'm pretty ballsy, but the first time I called I jump out of planes and stuff, but The first time I called an expired listing, I'm not going to lie, my hands were trembling like on the phone. And I did practice. I will say role play is like absolutely mission critical. I role play today as a team leader and I role play. So, but I would pick up the phone and the first time I kind of sucked, and you know what? It didn't hurt that bad. You know, I didn't have like a knife through my ribs. Like I was intact, you know, and of course, like I didn't want to suck the second time. So, you know, I got better, right? Like, so you're going to get better. And I mean, and there's something called beginner's luck too. When you are going first all in on something, it's something new to you, you actually have the capacity of outpacing experts in that field. And it's because so many experts in that field think they already know what they have to know, you know, where I had to really step it up to prove my value. You know, my media package was like on point. Like I have my own videographer, whatever your unique selling proposition is, but know that you're going to be leveling up, but you know, your energy, what you're going to provide in terms of value compared to like, say, the old dog, you know, in the market that you're going up against, you know, it's going to win you so much more business than you'll ever think of. And getting an in-person opportunity, that's the number one thing. Once you're belly to belly, your chances of converting are so much higher. If you understand this is about the client, what their goals are, you know, how you're going to help them solve their goals better than any other agent, and knowing, again, what agents are you going up against, you know, who are you interviewing? I want to be, if I don't give price, if I'm not going to, if there's going to be one more interview after me and they didn't sign with me, like I try to get them to sign, then I know that I'm like, okay, so your next interview's at 4. You know, let me do this. Let me go back because your home's so unique. And I'm not going to lie. This it's better true to get a second opinion and to look deeper into the pricing. You know, are you available tomorrow at like 5 o'clock for Zoom after your appointment? And then that way I can go over my pricing. You'll be able to like interview the other agent. Maybe any other questions that might come up, I'll be able to answer for you, because I'd really love to be the agent that gets your home sold and gets you over to North Dakota to be with your grandkids, whatever it is. Mm-hmm. So kind of some little hacks that I threw in there.
Yeah, I mean, you gave us some very good nuggets over there, but we're both in agreement that expired is going to be one of the next opportunities. And
can I give you one more hack for expired listings?
Please, yes.
Mindset. Okay.
Yes.
So one thing that I absolutely believe in is music, is healing. Music can like take us anywhere in our energy and our state, and getting into the right state. So whatever your favorite jam is, mine happens to be a lot Tupac and Eminem. But I listen to that music. I am doing my breathing. I'm getting excited for that appointment. So when I arrive there, I am in such an energetic state, and I'm excited to be there. And getting into state is so important, that you're not like showing up like, oh God, this text message, oh gosh, this complaint, you know, staying in the right state before you get there.
I love it. I love it. That's something that we also talk about as well too. And can I take this a step further?
Yes.
Awesome. This is your show today, but I'm going to take this a step further, because again, at the end of the day, this is not about me, and this is not about you. This is about our audience and what they're going to take away and how it is going to impact their life. I'm going to like everybody. I don't care if it's a buyer appointment. I don't care if it's a seller appointment, but specifically if it's a seller appointment, because we love working with sellers here. Okay. Find out just 2 things that I want you to find out. One, okay, I want you to identify what is the music that when you hear it, you instantly just feel that adrenaline. You instantly feel that rush of energy. You instantly, feel that newfound belief system in yourself. That is what I want you to listen to on your way to the listing appointment. And to take this a step further, I want you to identify who are the people in your life that when you actually have a conversation with them, they automatically make you feel good. That's a person that you should also call on your way to the listing presentation. And I want you to park your car around the block like 10, 15 minutes before the appointment. And I want you to sit down. And I want you to close your eyes and take a deep breath, breathe in and breathe out. And I want you to visualize this scenario of like you parking in front of their home, you getting out of your car, you walking to the door, knocking on the door, and they open up with a big smile, and the home smells good, and it shows good, and you're giving a tour, and you guys are laughing, and you guys are connecting, you guys are having a great conversation, and at the end of that conversation, You don't even need to ask for the signature. They love you so much that they say, hey, how can we make this happen? And they sign the contract. And then you visualize yourself walking out the door, walking to your car, getting in your car and calling all your homies and saying, I did it again. You do that, and you're going to walk in there with a different kind of energy. You're going to be radiating confidence and authority, and it's just going to make a big difference. Because at the end of the day, what is the presentation? It's an energy exchange. And when you walk in with that energy, my gosh, you are going to win. How do you pronounce your last name, Jennifer?
It's Wehner, but
It's Winner.
actually I'm going to.
It's Winner.
It's Winner, and I'm actually going to change it officially to Jen Irish because I'm getting divorced. So. And talk about limiting beliefs. It's like the fact that we can't have happy families even when couples don't work out is just another limiting belief.
Yeah.
Because as you're in your path, I met my soon-to-be ex when I was 18. And I've grown so much, and we've all can grow into the different pathways. And so, in all negative aside, there's always going to be like light in that journey. There's going to be sometimes that like take 2 steps back to take 20 steps forward.
Right. So. Right. Awesome. Okay. So, Jennifer, people out there are saying, Chadi, thank you for having Jennifer on today. To you, I'm going to say you are welcome, and you owe us a 5-star rating and a positive review. And I know your next question in the back of your mind, and that next question is, don't even email me, don't even text me. I know exactly what you're thinking. You're thinking, Chadi, how can we enter the world of Jennifer? So Jennifer, tell them, how can they connect with you, and how can they enter your world?
Oh, I love it. You make me laugh, and I love that. So I am very excited. One advice from an old broker I still love dearly. He told me, I said, I want to write a book, and I kept saying it over and over, but I wasn't writing it. And he's like, Jennifer, shut up about writing your book, or just get it done. And so I am publishing my first book called The Renaissance Real Estate Agent: How to Unleash the Art of Systems in Your Business. I do have an opinion that every agent should have a team, whether small or big, professional and domestic leverage in your life. But if you find me on Instagram, DM me, because we are going up for pre-sale next month. And I'm so excited because I poured my blood, sweat, and tears. I have real stories. I have real tactics, real takeaways, everything we talked about, but like a million times more. And I would love to connect with you too. So if you are on Instagram, DM me. It's the easiest way to get a hold of me. If you want to talk about your business, I would love to get to know and connect with more agents across the country. And I'm from Riverside, my hometown, and why I would not want to move back. I love Riverside very much. So, it's my home state, California. So we love referrals here in Scottsdale, Phoenix. I like to give referrals away and knowing I have great agents. So always expanding my real estate network, and would love to. If you have a referral, I have a free book for you.
I love it. Love it. So we will go ahead and make sure we put all the contact information for how you can connect with Jennifer on the show notes, which are available at shadibazzi.com and or tlashow.com. And we will be sharing a lot of snippets inside of toplistingagentgroup.com as well too. So if you're not already part of that group, you got to get with it and go to toplistingagentgroup.com. Jennifer, we never end the show without asking the last question. Are you ready for the final question?
I hope so, yes.
All right. And the final question is, what question should I have asked you today that I did not ask you that I need to ask you right now?
I am a blabbermouth, so I've talked a lot, but maybe more about some of the fails, because I have probably made a lot more fails that I could have unpacked, and maybe happy to do another session about like, here's everything fail Friday.
How about we just share one right now?
Okay. Oh God, there's so many. Definitely setting expectations is like so important. So whether it be with your clients, whether it be team members, but by not setting the proper expectations, say, for some of my employees, not just agents. I've set them and myself up to lose, to fail. And had I spent a little more time to set those expectations, we would have had clear expectations of what the role was and whether they fit, whether we were going to fit together, and there wouldn't have been so much unraveling in my business as I grew my team. So that would probably be like a big thing when, especially agents, as you grow teams, is to really go deeper before you go wider.
I love it. And Jennifer, I can already tell there will be a part 2, so stay tuned for part 2. Thank you very much for your listening. Thank you very much to our audience for your contribution in keeping us going at it every single week. And a big thank you to Jennifer for taking time out of her busy day and spending it with us today. Thank you very much.